Okay, Coach Racquel still here, still here. All right, so it's now time for the segment Allegedly. Allegedly. And this is a segment where I share my thoughts and opinions on alleged happenings around the world, news, trends and topical issues. This is where I share my thoughts on those things because I happen to have an opinion. I have an opinion, so I would like to share my little 1 cent on what's going on in the world. All right, yeah, and these are the ones I speak on, the ones that touch my heart. It's not that the rest of them are not important, but I zoom in on the ones that touch me. If it doesn't touch me, I'm not talking about it. There's no reason for me to talk about it. But if it touches me, it made me feel something inside my heart. Then I want to say something. I'm going to say something, and that is what this segment is about. So before we get into it, let me go ahead and share the fair use, because all the content that I use for this segment is all being used under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing, and I have no desire to infringe on anyone's content. But I find some content that is useful to the discussion I'm having or to the related story that I'm going to be talking about, and I just want to use that to share that to complement whatever I'm going to say or to add to what I'm going to say, right? Yeah, and so and I'm reacting to them. All right. Okay, great. So today's story, I have a couple of them, a couple that I'm going to be speaking about. Let me just tell you what those are. Okay, so there are a few stories I want to talk about, beginning with Sean Combs. And so we're going to be reacting to Kanye showing up to support Sean Combs, which I think well done. I love to see that. And then I want to speak on Brian McKnight and the passing of his son, and then Monique and her son's apology to her and their family. These are the three stories. Oh, sorry, and one. Travis Hunter recently got married to his young love, and I have something to say on that as well. So let's get into it. Let's begin with Sean Combs. So uh, unless you're under a rock somewhere, unless you're under a rock somewhere, you should be in the awareness that Sean Diddy Combs, he's been called he's Sean Combs, who's been referred to as Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love. Um, he has been in custody or yeah, in custody for a period of time, and I think we're now at 21 or 20, the 22nd, 21st or the 22nd day of his trial, and it's a federal case that's being tried in the courts. As you can see on the thing that I'm showing you, what are the charges? So this says what you need to know about Sean Combs' federal trial. Prosecutors allege Combs faces 5 criminal charges, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. Just reading that for me, like, I'm telling you, there's this energy moving through my body. Sean Combs, we commit you in the hands of God. And God, we pray that we commit this case in your hands, that your will be done. Your will be done. What does the defense say? Combs has vociferously denied the allegations against him. In a statement in April, Combs's legal team described his accusers as former long-term girlfriends who were involved in consensual relationships. This was their private sex life, defined by consent, not coercion. All right, so that's as far as I'm going to go for that. That's just for me, just to remind you. The last two episodes, the 13th episode of season 1, I talked about this, and I shared all the information about it as well, so you can catch up on that. So this is what we're going to be speaking about today. However, the perspective I'm taking from it is, one, I want to talk about Kanye West visiting Combs, and then there is a clip of Sean Combs that I kind of want to go through, and I want to go through it to talk to us girls. I would like to have a conversation, girl talk, a girl talk conversation. I haven't had enough relationships, to be honest with you. I'm not even quite sure if I'm the best one to have this conversation, but I'm a woman. I am a woman. I have nieces and nephews, and I have an opinion. I have thoughts. I have thoughts. So I have some things I'd like to share. So I'm going to play a clip right now. And before I play the clip, let me just say this. Let me just give Kanye a hand. Great job, Kanye. Great job. Great job. And at the end of this, I'm going to share the importance of support and why we should support each other. Support does not mean agreement. You can support someone you entirely disagree with. And when I say support, I don't mean showing up and say, yay, they should get away with it, or that's not what I'm saying. Just the thought of, we're talking about life sentence. We're talking about going away for a life, to be locked up in a place that is not perfect, to be locked up in a place where, the other day I saw this clip where the actual officers in charge of the prisoners, there was a battery, is that what you call it, when a group of them beating on one prisoner, and that prisoner was not the first person to throw a punch. This is where this man is looking down the barrel to go to, right? And it's not going to kill anyone to have compassion. Why am I getting emotional? Empathy, understanding, because the truth is, nobody knows the facts except the people who are in it and God himself. We really don't know the facts. And if I know anything, there's a part in the Bible that says, in sin was I born, and iniquity shaped, born in sin and shaped in iniquity, right? We are such flawed individuals. We're not perfect. But when it comes the time for us to assess others, it's like we have this perfect mark that they're supposed to hit, even though we ourselves can't hit it. We can support people without being in agreement with their actions, with their practices, with their lifestyle. That's what community is. That's what community is. And that's why I can't even understand people who say they're ministers and they're church leaders and they're this leaders and they're that leaders. And there's no support for people who are going through a tough time. The very sin that they claim that they're here to help people deal with and manage and navigate through is the very sin that they use to cast them on their feet, to abandon them and leave them out there. I'm not saying you should come out here and advocate for him to be freed. I'm saying support, compassion, prayer, goodwill, some good thoughts towards the people, positive energy going towards them. Sean Combs, I support you. All the women involved, I support you too. And there's some personal accountability that you all individually share. So far, my opinion on the case, I've heard so far, based on my understanding, is consensual sexual activities between adults. I don't even know why we needed to hear all of those things. I believe that when someone is guilty of something, it should be so clear. It should be as clear as an ad. You know, when you're doing an advertisement, or when you go, like when the people who go to the Got Talent series events, and they say to them, you have 2 minutes to change your life. I feel that the case should be able to be summed up in 2 minutes. I don't mean that the court case should only take 2 minutes. I mean, in 2 minutes, the prosecutor should be able to clearly give us some evidence. What are we talking about here? In 30 seconds, they should be able to tell me what this person's guilty of. You know, and I feel like I'm swimming in a sex pool of of oils, and just swimming down in here, still muddy waters, still trying to figure out where is the crime here? Where is the crime here? That's where I'm at anyway. Yeah. I'm still not seeing it. So I want to say thanks to Kanye. I love Kanye. And I'm always going to love Kanye. Kanye is the only one that can stop me from loving him. I love Sean Combs, and Sean Combs is the only one that would have to do something specifically towards me for me to decide that I'm going to stop, love, and support him. And I don't have to say I don't condone his behavior. His behavior, based on what the reports are, is nothing to condone. That's his personal life. I would not participate. There's nothing he could give me for me to do what these young ladies have done. Nothing. Okay? If he had done that to me, they would have identified a crime somewhere, because there would be blood, there would be war, there would be. You do not have sex without consent with me in any room that's not torn apart. Everybody would know somebody was held against their will here. I would have every red carpet I would have signed. He would have had to kill me. Yes, he would have had to kill me. But somebody was going to know that something is happening to me that I don't like. I don't tolerate misery very well. I can't handle misery. I don't have good tolerance for misery. Okay? So let's just read this.
Yeezy showed up to court.
Sorry, so this right here.
Yeezy showed up.
I don't want you to see right here. Beautiful. This makes me so teary-eyed. That is Kanye greeting. I think his name is King Combs. That's one of Sean's son. Forgive me. Let me tell you something. We all go through something. And I pray that when your child or you have to face accusations that may be untrue, partially true, or even fully true, that when your human body and your human mind starts going through the pain of the consequences of your actions, it is my prayer that people show up for you. You know, I have a friend who showed up for me once, and no matter how I try to explain to him my gratitude, he would say things like it was a venture, or it wasn't a big deal, or whatever. It was a big freaking deal. It was my life. It was my life. And you were the only one who bothered to do a venture or a thought or consideration, and you were the one who knew me the least. And I was going through false accusations, okay? And instead of the people around me who knew me and knew how hard I worked, and instead of them saying, you know, Racquel, I wish you the best. Instead of that, they're asking me questions. So, oh my God, did you do it? And the pain for me wasn't even so much the accusers, because I feel like they didn't really fully know me, right? But it's the people who knew me all along and were always telling me, oh, you work too much, and oh, you do this too much, and oh, you do that too much, and how come you're always working and you don't have money, and how come you don't have this, and and then when they hear accusations that are blatantly false, that they would know more than anybody else, they'd be false, who weren't silent, were asking me questions. And then after everything passed and the storm passed, and they saw signs of recovery, oh yes, this is when I started hearing, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. Oh, and I stopped them. I said, no, same energy. And I wish you all the best. You're entitled to how you feel. and it's okay. And I thank God for what happened to me, because it was the breakdown I needed, because I was in hell and I didn't know it. You know, when I talk about Daniel in the lion's den, oh gosh, I was in the lion's den. Because it's when you're thriving and people have jealousy and they're assuming things and they're doing this, and especially when they don't think you're not giving them what they think you should give them, or you're not, because they don't understand that the higher the income, the greater the accountability, and the greater the obligations that you have. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have money to throw away, or you just have stuff to, it doesn't mean that. So it is my prayer that when you start going through your thing, that they don't drag you on the internet, that they don't seek to tear and rip up your character. I believe that people should be able to fail, face their consequences, and still maintain what they've worked to earn. Unless I stole something, why should I lose everything? What is that? That is envy to me. That is envy, that's covetousness, and that is, if that's what justice looks like, then what's the point of any of us trying to achieve anything in this life? When any one of us can fall at any time, any one of us can make a mistake, any one of us can have someone tell with the wickedest lie on you. I had it done to me. So I know that people lie. People lie and then later on try to apologize for the lie. When they see, and even the persons who do it to you then say to you, I didn't think anyone would believe me. I didn't think you would go that far. What do you mean you didn't think you would go that far? You went far. So it is my hope that when your family faces this, when your child, your grandchild, because let me tell you something, the seeds we plant today, they grow into trees, my darling. They grow into trees. There is no such thing as community if that community only loves you when they perceive you to be doing what they agree with and what they perceive to be acceptable. If none of us break the rules, then you'll never have inventions. You'll never have change and growth and advancement. How would we know? How would we get? How would a baby learn to walk if they don't fall? And if every time they fall, we abandon them, what are we teaching them? What's the message here? What's the message? I love this, Kanye. Oh my gosh, God bless you for this. I love it. I love it. They deserve support. They deserve a community standing behind them. Other communities do it. Other communities do it. And let me tell you, I will not be coming on here saying what Sean should get and what he shouldn't get. There is a justice system and it will have its way. And I'm okay with that. My only job here is to support him and to help him as he moves through it and grow through it, because he's growing through it. I'd be damned, Sean Combs, if you go through this and not rise higher. I listen, I will accept nothing less from you than for you to go through this, and you better rise. You better rise, and you're going to rise even higher than you were, and you're going to demonstrate to all those little black boys that they can go through hell and make it out. Okay, I don't care what the outcome is. I commit it in God's hands. Lord God, I want your blood all over this. I want your hands all over this, God. Nothing but your will be done, whatever that is. And Sean Combs, I commit your upcoming breakthroughs in the hands of God, because this breakdown have so many breakthroughs coming. And let me say this, because I didn't say it at the beginning, and I remember one person say my intros are too long. Well, here we go. This is my platform and my time to share my little thoughts and my 1 and 2 cents. Okay, so I don't want to hold back. I just want to say what I'm have to say. You can skip it, please. Remember, you can skip what you don't want to hear. And thank you for watching. But listen, when I talk about these stories, I'm not talking to shame anyone. I'm not here to belittle anyone, degrade anyone. I'm hardly even here to repeat the story. I am here to examine the breakdown that other people are going through, so I can be inspired to do my self-work. And in doing my self-work, it is my prayer and my hope that I'll have some breakthroughs from it, because I do believe in this moment in time, God is sacrificing Sean Combs. Yes, I say sacrifice. He's sacrificing Sean Combs for the benefit of the rest of us. There are some lessons here. There are some things that are showing up here. There is some revelations here that we need to pay attention to. We like to get up and party and all of that, but beyond all of this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is precedence that is happening right here. And I think we should take note. So I love, sorry, that Kanye showed up for Sean Combs because he deserves it. He's not the most evil person in the world, and if he was, he still deserve support, and he has my support, my prayers, my positive energy. Sean Combs, you're in my heart, you're in my mind, you're in my prayers. Yes, yes, nothing but positive energy for you and everyone involved. It's not that I don't care about the women, but he's the one right now who's facing the thought of having to go to a place to be locked out away in a cage where people don't care for you. And that's another thing that just bleeds my heart. How dare us come and take people claiming this is justice and then put them in the most unjust place, in the place that serves the most injustice. When someone goes to prison, they should only lose their freedom of moving around, location, freedom. They're not supposed to lose their dignity. They're not supposed to lose their health. They're not supposed to lose their wealth. They're not supposed to lose their mind, their quality of life beyond that. They in the case of Sean, he may have come from a wealthy place, but now he's eating prison food, which still should be healthy food. I don't know how we can be sitting here advocating for people to go to a place that is so dilapidated and disgusting. Nobody should go to any prison that's not upholding certain human rights standard of living. I don't know how we can be okay with that. Anyway, Sean, Kanye went to visit him, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And now I'm going to play a clip from Choke No Joke. I don't know why that's his name, but one day I feel like I want to interview him and ask him, Choke No Joke, why that name? And I really like his coverage too. He speaks like a man with responsibility, like a responsible man when he's talking about it, you know? So we're gonna I love this.
Jeezy showed up to court today, right? They wouldn't let him go in the main courtroom because they said he may persuade the jury. Yo, bro, that's BS right there, right? It shouldn't matter how famous or infamous anybody is. When you show up to court, you should be able to support your family and friends, right? This goes to show you that the prosecutor is trying to not give Diddy a fair trial, because anybody's celebrity should not matter, right? But just go to show you how much of suckers the rest of these niggas in the industry are, right? Because if a Jay-Z, a Busta, or whoever you see hanging out with Diddy over the years would have came up in that courtroom for even half the trial, you know what I'm saying? The support goes to show the jury and the world that this person has support. But these niggas are so scared because they done played in raid their games, allegedly, some of them, right? That they don't even want to take the chance of going in the courtroom.
Diddy sues Diageo, who is the owner of Ciroc, for racism or something like that. Diageo apparently, I think they might have lost the lawsuit. Diageo allegedly sends out private investigators to start snooping around and seeing some shit that Diddy might do. There's one way that you could nullify their contract, and that is if he breaks a morality clause. So if you were charged with a federal crime, that might be enough to break your contract, right? Because, for example, if you're the ambassador of a brand, but then you're charged with a felony, you can't stay on as the ambassador for the brand, so that would nullify it. So maybe in an effort to pay out or whatever it was, they tell these, you know, private investigators, dig up as much as possible. They've got connections to feds. I mean, this is the liquor lobby at the end of the day, right? This is a very powerful lobby. They start giving them this information, and then the feds go after it. They have a real case.
Yeah, right. If you just type in Diageo market cap $81 billion. And what this insider said to me, just purely on what could happen, is given. I'm not giving a source. It
Speculation.
Could be speculation. He said they owe him $2 billion, and he said it could be the fact that they are doing this to not have to pay him $2 billion.
Hey, baby.
Okay, before I go to the next clip, I don't know that any of those things that those two, the latter two of the, I think I'm too emotional to talk about this topic. You see, until you sit in somebody's shoe, I don't know why it is that we have to sit in their shoe to have compassion and have understanding of what people have gone through. And when someone is down, we don't have to kick them further. You can give them water when they're there. You can feed them while they're there. You don't have to pick them up, you know. You don't have to pick them up and say, come up off the floor. No. You know, I remember when I was going through my thing, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. So if you want to hear about it, just go back to my other videos. But I had someone tell a very public lie on me once. And I remember I'd gotten so paranoid that I remember I started believing the lies, because I started saying to myself, why would somebody just lie on you like that? It doesn't make sense. There has to be a way that you made. There has to be a way. But the funny thing is, this time around was the first time in business where I did everything by the book. This was the time when I did everything to the best of my capacity by the book, yeah? Except for the one mistake that I made to take on a partner and give them 50% control. That was my mistake. Yeah. But I remember a police officer came once. My landlord at the time gave she was my paralegal assistant, gave her, I don't remember if he gave her the number or gave me. I think it was me. I called him, the officer, because I didn't know at the time it was a panic attack I was having. And I remember he came, and the young lady that was the paralegal that was helping me, when the police came, because she was there trying to get me to get up and to breathe. And well, she wasn't saying breathe because she didn't understand what was happening, but I felt like I was going out of breath. I actually thought I was having a heart attack. That's what I thought I was having. And I remember she was freaking out, and she was like, Miss Reese, look at the paper, look at it. You didn't do it. And I remember the police came, and he read the thing, and he's like, ma'am, you didn't do anything. You didn't do it. I'm looking at it. You're not guilty of anything. I see what happened here. And even with people telling me, it became so overwhelming for me. And it wasn't it wasn't the people who did it to me that got me here. It was the people who knew me, who acted like they didn't know me. It was their response and reaction that had me doubting myself. And the case was later, it was thrown out. But what I'm saying is, it was the people who knew me that killed me, because they behaved like they didn't know me. And they were the same ones who would point out my sacrifices when they used to use it to criticize me. I don't care what someone has done. Help them now. You can actually help them rise so they can fix the problem they created. You see, if this is it, right? Because even in that case, you know what I wanted? An opportunity to give me a moment here. Let me digest what's happening to me so I can address whatever the issue is. But how can you do that if everyone is standing on top of you? If everyone is on top of you and just going at you, where do you get the breather to just pause and say, hang on here, let me recover so I can address some of these things? And what a lawsuit this man is getting. You want to tell me that people can't wait for this case to be over and wait for him to file a lawsuit? No, you have to give him 100 lawsuits all at once. To me, that's a coordinated attack on someone, war. That is I believe an invisible war, a media war has been launched on Sean Holmes. That's my thoughts. That's my feelings. That from the moment I saw how coordinated the media turnout was at the rate of his home, that was when I said, no, something is wrong with this, because I have never known a police force to even be happy that the media shows up unless it's a press conference. When they're doing their investigations, they don't want anybody to interfere. So the media should, I believe them, and based on my experience working in the media usually find out there's a raid by finding out that is while it's happening. Or maybe they get a tip like a moment or so before, but the coordinated turnout that I saw, it was from that time that I grew weary, that I'm like, that's interesting. And then when I saw the coordinated media attack, an entire war was launched on this man, and no one can tell me otherwise. No one. And I don't care what he's done. You cannot treat him with evil and tell me the reason you do it is because he's evil. Because then that means you're both just as evil. So anybody can pick any side then. Justice should look and feel like justice. It should look and feel fair. Even if it's not fair, there should not be appearance of impropriety. Is that what it's called? Impropriety, yes. It should look like it's fair. Why can't Kanye go into the court to support his friend? It's ridiculous to me. He's a celebrity, so he may influence the juror. If you think that juror that you've chosen cannot do a good job, then you should have chosen another juror. It should be a fair trial. It shouldn't be that, we've never lost, or we've only lost 2%, so we have to win, so we must do everything. That's not justice, in my opinion. That's not justice. I respect the law. I do everything to live by the law. My God, all my life, I've lived by it. And I want to keep living by it because I'm so grateful to the men and women who really seek to uphold it. I'm so grateful. But the rest of us, I am taking note. I'm paying attention to the churches. I'm paying attention to the schools. I'm paying attention to the groups. I'm paying attention to everybody, because everybody needs you and love you, and you're a part of them when they need your money and when they want you to support them. But the least mistake you make, everybody, you sin and you this and you that, and Christ come to forgive you, and then you do something that prove what they're talking about, and they run away. They run away. When they want your money, they're on top of you like flies. And the least little mistake, or even the biggest mistake, and they disappear. The silence. So when I listen to all of these things, I think, and even with the case of the whole Diageo thing, I don't know who they are, what they're doing, what it's about, but if there needs to be investigation, the justice system should also investigate that. If Sean has been robbed, just as in this case, he's seen as a perpetrator and they're going after him, he deserves justice too for whatever happens to him. Everybody deserves the same justice, right? Whether you're guilty for another crime or not, even if you're in jail, if you're in prison, you have certain rights, right? Just as that young lady, well, it looked like a young woman, I don't know if it was, that was being battered by those officers that were supposed to be protecting them. That person also, regardless of the fact that they may be labeled a criminal, doesn't the criminal also have human rights? Doesn't the justice system also still work for them? It should. That's the only way it is a justice system, right? So where is the investigation in what issues surround Combs, or what injustice might be done to him outside of this case? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But the federal agencies and the security agencies are doing what they're supposed to do, and his community should also do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to support him. They're supposed to carry him as he goes through this. They're supposed to help him learn the lessons. His account, the law is already holding him accountable. We can hold his hand. That's all I'm saying. We can hold his hand. We're not saying let me take you out or let me help you break out. No. We're saying we know you're there and we'll hold your hand through it. We'll be here with you through it. We'll be an ear through it. We'll protect you through it. If we're not doing that, we're not a community. And what I'm seeing here is Sean Combs has no community. And that's not because he's an evil person. It's not because he's a monster. It's because of the lies that was told to him, that made him think he had friends and made him think he has people would support in a part of a community that would support him and show up for him. We lied. Every time I hear people talk about the black community lies. There's no such thing as a black community. It's like a pack of hyenas ready to tear you down. We're not a community. Do we know what a community does? Do we know what a community is about? A community doesn't scatter at the first sign of war and trouble. The community shows up and says, I walk with you. I walk with you. As soon as we hear that somebody is imperfect, and we are the community that talk the most about God and perfection and imperfection and sin and all of that. It's as soon as somebody, quote unquote, sin, we run down as though we've never committed one in our lifetime. Anyway, let's move on. The next clip I'm going to play is a clip with Sean talking. It's a voice note that he's leaving, and I'm not listening to this clip to talk about what he did. I'm listening to this clip to talk about as a woman to woman conversation.
We had a great time. Stay in the light. It's all good. Get your rest. You are pipe. That's my new name for you, pipe. Or should I call you CP? But yeah, I want you to stay in the light. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very good time together. Like so much fun. So much fun. Now go rest up. Get in your bag. You know what I'm saying? Got your contract. Find a nice little spot. Put your mind at ease. And yeah, I had a great time. And I really, really want you to get some rest. I didn't know about you throwing up and all that. That's when I was like, hold up a second. All right, get some rest, baby. Love. So if you come in for 24 hours, yeah, you always wanted to set some shit up. So now you got the opportunity. So set some shit up for tomorrow night. That last vision we had was Dawn and ATL. See you put it together, baby.
Okay. So, I am hearing on that clip a man basking in the. I'm hearing in that clip a man basking in the afterglow of some great experiences. Ladies, if you know you don't love a man and you're not into what he's into, do not take his money. Do not take his time. Do not take his resources. Do not get into his company. Leave. And I'm feeling real sick and tired of grown women behaving like victims when the truth is, for whatever reason, you made the wrong choices. You made the wrong choices. If a child can be charged with murder and charged as an adult, if an 11-year-old can be charged as an adult for a crime, I don't want to hear what anyone made you do. You have 3 chances to tell me somebody made you do something. After the 4th occurrence, you're making a choice. And as women, we've got to do better. Oh, we say these ones are baddies and these ones, you know what? Be a baddie. And please, in God's name, allow me to be a fatty. I want to be a fatty and you be a baddie. Because you know where a fatty won't, I don't think will end up. I know I won't end up. I won't even be his type. I will not even be his type, baby. And thank God for that. Excuse me. Thank God for that. excuse me, right? Thank God for that. We make choices, and we have to own our choices. Take personal accountability for our choices. If you knew you did something that hurt you and he's basking like this, then you should be asking yourself, so how is it he's so happy and I'm in so much pain? I remember I had an experience with a guy once, and I remember I was talking to him, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening with me. I felt like I was losing my balance. And when I was telling him what I was feeling, he said, I feel like a king. And it stopped me. That kind of paused me. I'm like, huh? So I'm losing it, and he's feeling like a king. That doesn't make sense. And I still didn't get it done. It took me a while of questioning and working on myself to realize that, hold on, this is not how it's supposed to go. If we're both not having a good, wonderful time, then I'm supposed to remove myself. Go get a job. Get several jobs. There are women out here working. And I think one of the things that pain me is that these are the same women, or some of these women, right, who position themselves in places and spaces, making other young girls feel inadequate because they were not chosen by the billionaire, not knowing the lifestyle of a billionaire. And I'm not saying this is the lifestyle of all billionaires. I don't know the lifestyle of anyone. But I'm saying when you get into relationships, you have choices. And if you had no choices, I believe it should be evident. There should be some clear evidence of I had no choice. I need to see bounding. I need to see, I don't care what it is. There needs to be more than, oh, it's what I call it, syndrome. No. I want to see marks on your body. There needs to be, I don't care what the evidence is going to be, but there should be some tangible evidence that I can look at and say, yes, I see this. Come on now. When I listen to that, if that voice note was sent to me and I had any displeasure, even if it was just a minute displeasure, that would have been the first day I start walking away, taking steps to move away. I also heard another voice note where he was saying, okay, if this is not what you want, all right. I don't want to ghost you, so I'm calling to let you know I'm about to ghost. I'm about to go ghost. I'm about to disappear, allegedly. That is, and I'm paraphrasing, right? And I've been there. I have been there where I liked somebody so much that I thought, well, he's supposed to like me back, not realizing that, hey, baby girl, just as you have the right to love him and desire him, he has the right to love and desire somebody else. Just as you have the right to desire a relationship with him, he has a right to say, I don't desire a relationship to you. And guess what happened? He doesn't even have to tell me. Anyone can do whatever they want to do with me. I am responsible for me. I am accountable to me. It is for me to recognize that a certain behavior is not in congruence with how I want to feel and how I want to be, and is not in congruence with my happiness, my joy, my peace. And I believe they didn't leave because they were okay with it until they weren't okay with it anymore. Whether that was when the feds knocked up, whether that was when the court case started, or whenever. When you decided you didn't want it anymore, you decided you didn't want it anymore. But take accountability for your actions. Now I'm going to move on. The next thing I just want to share something on is Brian McKnight, and I'm going to do this really quickly. But there apparently, and my condolences to the family and all involved, one of Brian McKnight's children, a son, I believe, passed away. And that created some issues. So let's go to that video.
Big thanks to Bob McKnight's tasteless and self-aggrandizing announcement on TikTok that frankly was not his to make.
Brian McKnight calling out his brother Claude McKnight in the wake of son Nico's death at 32 years old. The singer shared his message to Instagram June 3rd in response to his brother announcing on TikTok that Nico had died after a 2-year cancer battle.
Nico was one of those amazing kids who was quirky and curious and ridiculously talented.
In my opinion, he inserted himself and used Nico's death as an opportunity instead of letting him pass with respect and dignity.
The R&B artist claimed his estranged son, along with Nico's mom and Brian's ex-wife, Julie McKnight, refused help amid his health struggles.
The last time he and I spoke, we offered him all the help we could provide. We had the #1 oncologist on deck for him and a team of specialists on standby with private care in our home. He and his mother declined. The door...
Okay, so allegedly, reportedly, that's the story. To some extent, I support Brian McKnight. His brother should not have taken it to TikTok. But then on the other hand, his brother, who was the son's uncle, has his own experience and his own story and his own relation to the child, to the son. So I do believe that, you know, we all have our experiences and we can choose how we handle it. You know what I mean? And in this, and I'm not even saying anyone was right or wrong per se. I'm just saying I understand both perspectives. And it's not because I'm just, oh, happy-go-lucky, I'm good with everybody. No, that's not it. I'm just probably the wayward positive voice amid the noise. You know, I just choose to see things for what they are, and we're a community. I support them, you know, and I send positive energy again towards them. It's my hope that this family will be able to come together and work all of this out and forgive each other for the capacity each other has and how they deal with the loss, because you really cannot dictate to someone how they handle their personal experiences. They're going to do it the best way they know how. And you can get mad if you want to, you can disagree if you want to, but at the end of it, what I hope is that we end at a place where we can support each other even during our disagreements, right? But yeah, I would rather it not be on TikTok too, but it's just like in my family, there's some things that I'm sure they wish I wouldn't say. But this is how I deal with it. This is how I move and navigate through it. You know what I mean? This is my best way of dealing with it too. There's some things I don't talk about, and then there's some things that I talk about. So I understand it. And I also understand from the other perspective, because sometimes even though I do certain things, there's certain things I don't like to see other people do, like post funeral pictures and bodies and pictures, and I don't want to see it. In my healing process, I don't want to see it. But I cannot dictate how people are going to handle their story and their life experiences.
I'm going to start this off by showing...
I'm sorry about that. And their life experiences. I don't know how they're going to handle it, and I can't tell them how to. So, you know, God bless his family. My condolences to them, and I wish them healing and nothing again but positive energy. Now let's go on to Monique. I love Monique. She is one of my favorite persons. Yeah, in my top 10 favorite people, Monique is one of them. And some time ago, back in 2024, I think it was 2024, yes, there were some family challenges that they were going through, and they have been working through those challenges, and I thumbs up to, this is marvelous, and I think this is the best story to end with. This is beautiful. And guess what? Breakdowns are going to happen. Disagreements are going to be had. Sometimes we're even going to get mad at people, but you know what? As we work through it, we become stronger, right? We become stronger for it. So let's go to this clip. And this is Monique's son. He records a video apologizing to his mother, Monique, for going off on her in a series of videos back in 2024, and calls his actions a betrayal to the family, admitting that he had a mental health condition at the time. Thumbs up. Boss. This is a boss move. You said a man can come out and say, you know what? This is what this was. And he takes accountability. Mad respect for him. Mad respect for him.
Gratitude towards my family. The amount of patience and grace. I'm going to start this off by showing my gratitude towards my family. The amount of patience and grace that they have all shown me, especially during times where I did not deserve it, is appreciated more than I can ever express in words. Making those videos a year ago was a betrayal against our family, and I have to take full accountability for it. Why I made the videos and how I was feeling at the time when I made them is irrelevant. I made them and I shouldn't have, period. My family did not deserve the backlash that they received from what I said.
I'm going to stop right there. And to my family, I apologize too. And to be, I apologize for not knowing how to be a sister. I don't know how to be an aunt. I don't know. Believe you me, like I stare down the barrel of regrets every day because I am in protection mode. I am in getaway mode. I am in I'm scared mode. Those are the modes I'm in because those are the modes I know right now. And it might be hurting somebody and I don't know. And I don't know. And every day I just pray to God that they be well and happy, that they're thriving in their life because that is all I want. They don't have to do a thing for me. Just take care of you. And oh my God, that warms my heart, that fills my heart. And great job to Monique and her family in raising this son. He took full accountability. And that's what we have to do when things happen. We take accountability and we move through it. And we hope and pray that as we move through it, someone can hold our hands. Yes, I might deserve the slap, but hold my hands. Let me cry on your shoulder after the slap. You know what I mean? It helps me, you know? And the final thing I want to go to before I close this segment is there's something I want to share. There's something I want to share, and then we're done. Supporting people during trials, even when they're accused of serious or unacceptable behavior, is vital. Not because we condone what they might have done, but because we uphold human dignity, justice, and compassion. One, human dignity isn't conditional. Everyone deserves a basic level of respect and empathy, no matter the accusation. Support doesn't mean celebration of wrong. It means recognizing the person apart from the alleged act. Number two, innocent until proven guilty. That makes me so emotional. In a just society, we rely on due process. Emotionally or socially ex- Emotionally or socially exiling someone before the facts are fully known undermines the very justice system we claim to respect. Number three, people are not their worst moment. God knows I'm not mine. Even if someone is guilty, support can mean walking with them through accountability, growth, and change, not ignoring the harm, but not abandoning the human. Number four, support does not equal agreement. Supporting someone can mean offering them therapy, prayer, boundaries, legal help, or just a listening ear. You can disagree with their actions and still wish for their healing and redemption. And number five, the final one, abandonment fuels destruction. Abandonment fuels destruction. People who feel entirely cast out are more likely to spiral further into denial, defensiveness, or self destruction. Support can create a bridge to responsibility, not a shield from it. And the final thought, think of it like this: you don't have to stop watering a tree just because one of its branches is sick. You tend to it wisely. Maybe prune it, but you don't burn the whole thing down in a rage. We can challenge actions and still cherish people. Oh, I like that. We can challenge actions and still cherish people. That balance, that's where true maturity and grace live. Ah, beautifully said. Nothing more needs to be said. Thank you to everyone in this story. Thank you, Kanye, King Combs, the entire Combs family, Sean Combs. Thank you to Brian McKnight and his family and his son and his family. Thank you to Monique and her son and their families as well. I just want to say thank you to all the people. And to close off, I said I was going to say anything else, but I forgot Travis. Travis, I did not mean to forget you. Please forgive me. Let me see if I can find you. Uh, I just want to say congratulations to Travis Hunter on his recent marriage. And I appreciate that persons are concerned, and I appreciate that person support him. I appreciate that he has a community around him. But you know what I say? If you fear that negativity may come, then counteract it with kindness. Don't feed it with the same negativity. If you really are truly concerned for him, then push positivity their way. Support them. Send not just positive energy, but create an environment where they can thrive. Create an environment that if tomorrow he's going to fall, he falls on a cushion of society. He falls on a cushion of support system. He falls on a cushion of people who will hold him. But I'm so proud of him that he took this step. You know, this is what men are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be worried about, oh my gosh, if I step over there, I'm going to be bitten by a lion and I'm going to die. Men are brave. They're our Superman. They're our Supermen. That's what men do. Men come out and say, I'm going to love you. I don't care what they say. I'm going to love you. If I must fail, I want to fail loving somebody. That's the best failure I could possibly have. And since I know I'm going to fall at some point, let me fall on top of love. Let love be the reason my heart breaks. Yes, that's who he loves and that's who he wants to marry. So naysayers, I get you. I hear you. You are valid too. You are relevant and you are necessary too. But what I say is kill him with kindness. Yes, if you already think it's going to go bad, then counteract that now. Help it delay the bad news. Let him enjoy this moment. Let him, when the good times are here, let him bask in it. Because when the bad times come, they sure come. They sure come. So thank you so much. And like I said about support, let's support. Because 5 things. Support upholds human dignity. Sorry, the 5 key things to remember when it comes to supporting people. Human dignity isn't conditional. It's not conditional. Innocent until proven guilty. People are not their worst moment. Support is not agreement. And abandonment fuels destruction. Thank you so much for listening to Allegedly.
Diddy got really, really big. And I went to a Jodeci concert at the Apollo Theater. Myself and Lauryn Hill, we went together. And as I walked into the theater, we walked past the bar. Diddy was at the bar. And he said, "Soldier!" He jumped out. And I said, "Oh, yeah, what's happening?" And he said, "I've been looking for you." I said, "You've been looking for me?" I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, I made a truckload of money, and I want to give some of it back to the hood, but you're the only person that I trust with the money.
Wow.
And he wanted to hire me right from there. So I went home that night, talked to my husband, and to see if he thought it was an all right idea.
Right.
And my husband said, "Yo, that cat is large."
This is the first time we've ever heard somebody say Diddy gave them money.
No, it's not.
Oh no, this is true story.
Word.
And let me tell you something. For the years that I worked at Daddy's House social programs, Diddy gave a lot of money, and we had the most dynamic youth program anywhere.
Wow.
And the great thing is that from the original camps that I had that was without Diddy, it inspired so many artists to start their own foundations.
Dope.
And their own college programs and everything. And Diddy was one of them. And so I was really grateful to him for that.
I love to open new packages. I will give you the latest information on the top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I am so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Racquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.